You know these curly hair girls. You know why their hair's curly like that? It's because they're crazy, and that's just how it works out of their fucking head. Squirrely.
Mm-hmm. Cuckoo.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. This is going to be a fun evening.
I'm
looking forward to this one.
Yeah,
a rye night. What are we starting off with here?
We're going to start off with Jefferson's Ocean, aged at sea, Double Barrel Voyage 26 Rye Whiskey.
All right.
It's a mouthful.
Well, hopefully it will be soon. And we'll just start.
Let's do it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Over here, to your right, is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Good evening. Doing good. And you?
I'm doing all right. He says good evening, but really it doesn't matter what time of day you're watching this or listening to this.
It could be 9 a.m.
It could be. Yeah, right when it posts.
Wouldn't be the first time I had a breakfast whiskey.
Girl, same. Yeah, for real. I remember there for a while, my favorite breakfast whiskey was the Jameson coffee.
Okay, yeah.
It was pretty good. I know there's other... Ouch, I got a little splinter. I don't know if it's from that squirrel stuck in your roof or if it's from this barrel.
Hope it's not from the squirrel.
It's gone. Right. I did not touch that squirrel. That was the wrong...
Wash your hands.
That was the wrong president talking about the wrong thing. I did not have relations with that girl. Still fucked it up. Anyway, Clinton... I digress. So, once again, welcome. If you're listening to the audio-only version of this, thank you. Let us know you are. What is it? Spotify and Apple
Music,
Samsung, Audible. Yeah, we're anywhere that streams.
Yep.
We're there.
All the things.
Yeah, all the things. And definitely thank you for watching here on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Hit the little bell icon. It's gonna be a hoot. Today we're doing a rye, something that I found underneath my Christmas tree. Jennifer got it for me around Christmas time, and it is well past that. So it's been sitting over here on the shelves, back here or up there, and so we're definitely looking forward to trying this one. Been waiting too damn long, and today, whatever, it's happening. So. As you can see, as we've said, it's Jefferson Ocean Rye. Let's see, Ocean aged at sea. I guess that's everything Jefferson's does is aged at sea, which is really cool.
Their ocean line, everything is aged at sea.
Oh, okay.
Not all Jeffersons, but specifically the Oceans.
Double Barrel Rye Whiskey. Coming in at 96 proof. What else can you tell us about them?
This is their 26th voyage.
Okay.
So they've had 26 ships spend time out at sea. For those that don't know, Jefferson Reserve started, and I don't remember what year they started at. I don't have that in my notes here. But they started, they are one of the distillers that has done a lot of experimental type things with the aging process. I know that I followed them, and I used to really follow them closely, especially after I had my first Ocean bottle. But they like to take barrels, exact same mash, exact same juice, and they'll take 4 or 5 barrels, and they will place them at designated spots out in the wild in different regions, different areas of the country, of the world.
Wow.
And then just leave it there to age, and then periodically check on it, give it a taste, and to pay attention to what the climate and what the region is, what Mother Nature is.
What an Easter egg hunt that would be.
that would be a crazy Easter egg.
I'd be climbing through the jungles like Indiana Jones, looking for the Temple of Doom.
And I'm sure they keep the locations of those like locked down. But yeah, it's just they are trying to figure out what elements of Mother Nature really contribute to what we like and what we find in our whiskeys. And so anyway, their ocean product is one that they distill it, they put it in the barrels, and then they put it on a cargo ship and let that ship run around the world to and from, sloshing, naturally getting agitated its entire life, essentially. And the bourbon that I have had, the interesting thing, I think it was Voyage 21 or 22, I really felt like I could taste kind of a sea salted caramel,
like a
kind
bit
of
of
a flavor,
a brininess to it.
Yeah.
Was that your first bottle?
Yes.
Okay, so that was at was it Grind? Grind Fest, or was it something else?
Yeah, the Grind Fest show.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about a show we did with Burn the Gates, our band.
I brought my flask.
Yeah, he brought the
Got in trouble.
flask. It was the glass one.
Yeah,
the one that you gave me.
The Rag Proper.
Yeah. We've talked about Rag Proper before.
Yeah.
It's just the superior way.
Yeah,
to have a flask anywhere you go.
Thick, solid glass flask. So you're not getting. You can pour your best favorite bourbon into it and not worry about it getting tainted by the metallic flavors that come from a traditional flask.
I mean, not just metallic. Sometimes they're plastic.
Yeah.
Or maybe lined with plastic or something. And it just.
It's a flask that
it ruins it.
And honestly, looking at this bottle, it's basically a smaller version of this.
It's very similar to that.
It's a squashed glass bottle flask. This bottle in particular, I was excited when you brought this over, and because
have you fought with yourself to not pour?
A couple times I was like, I bet that's really good.
Won't mind. It's for the podcast.
I mean, the bourbon is fantastic. I've been really, really excited to get into this rye. I have a bottle of the Jefferson's rye finished in a cognac cask. That's amazing.
Okay.
But when I started doing a little bit of research on this, the thing that got me even more excited was this is actually their very first rye at sea. Okay. So Voyage 26 was a aged at sea rye, and it's the first time they've actually done a rye in the Ocean series.
Very cool.
So, and just a little bit of what I've got here. This is a no age statement. It is considered a double barrel rye whiskey. And it says, the newest member of the Jeffersons family, Jefferson's Ocean Rye, blends the bold flavor of rye with the rich caramelization that comes from the sea aging process. That makes a lot of sense. Typically your barrels are sitting in the rick house, and periodically, I don't know what the typical schedule is, but periodically they rotate the barrels. They roll them, they agitate them, knock that char loose, get those flavors to intermingle in there. Something like this, anyone who's ever been on a cruise ship, or any boat for that matter, knows that if you're at sea, you are in a constant state of up and down, back and forth, side to side. I have a toddler at home, so I know these catchy songs that go all... Anyway, but that makes sense to me that this would be a rich, caramelized experience. So the first ultra premium rye aged at sea, Jefferson's Ocean Rye, is aged in both new char and toasted barrels. Yes, toasted barrels, before being placed on ships. Okay, so it's put in the new char barrel and then in toasted barrels before they even start the aging process on the ship. In addition to this unique aging process, the whiskey is then non-chill filtered to bring an even fuller flavor profile. Founded in 1997, Jefferson's is the brainchild of Trey Zoller and his father, Chet, a famed... What you got?
Chet. I just started thinking Chet.
Chet.
You ever seen Weird Science?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chet, the guy that turned into a giant pile of shit.
A famed bourbon historian. They were continuing a family whiskey tradition that goes back to Trey's 8th generation grandmother, who was arrested in 1799 for the production and sales of spirituous liquors.
Spiritus.
His curious and experimental mindset has allowed him to push the boundaries of bourbon whiskey, upholding tradition, yet always discovering new possibilities.
Very, very cool.
So yeah, did they say in here, 8th generation grandmother? That would be their Martha expression that they released, I think, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, year and a half, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat little story.
Yeah.
You know, because we were talking back and forth and like, does this have anything to do with Thomas Jefferson? Thinking like he's the only Jefferson that's ever existed. Of course not. But no, it's just a family name, and it like you said, it harkens back to his 8th generation ago grandma.
Yeah.
A grandma that was
1799.
1799, like right after Revolutionary War. Like it was pre-Boston Tea Party, I believe.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're just like, you know, everybody's got their freedom, but no, you still can't make your own juice out in the woods and sell it.
I mean, not that we're getting into this one right now, but you know, the Mictors. Oh, never mind. They're 1753.
No,
never mind. Okay. I thought maybe this was an older one than that, but that's all right.
Mm-hmm. I like this bottle. It's got this cool neck tag with lots of information here. It's like really small print. Lets you know exactly the whole story and everything involved with it. It's got this cool neck band. It says right here on the front, Rye Voyage 26.
I like the world map.
The world map on the back
behind it, so it just
on
kind of
the bottom.
shadows.
It's stamped USA. It's got an anchor on it. 750 or no 75 CL. Not sure what that's about, but whatever. It's got a what would you call this wood here? Like cherry?
Yeah, maybe.
And then you got
walnut.
Maybe cherry walnut, something like that.
That's definitely a natural.
If you know your
cork.
woods just by looking at it, what the hell is that? But yeah, it's got the natural cork, something I'm a fan of, and the neck, like the pour.
Yep.
It's I don't know. There's something different about it that I like.
I agree.
Yeah. Time to get this on the nose. It smells really
It's got
caramely.
a great nose, yeah.
I was expecting more rye, but it's caramely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe it's just subliminal here, but is there a bit of a brininess on the nose? Kind of reminds me of walking into a Whole Foods.
Yep.
Something about it reminds me of Whole Foods. I don't know why. Huh. No.
I'm getting maple syrup.
Maple syrup?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a light brininess, maybe some vanilla, some maple syrup, caramely. It's got great legs. I mean, it's like really, what's that word? Viscous. It's thick. Thiq. I got so many fingerprints all over my glass. It's insane. I got too damn excited.
There's some rye.
There's the rye. There's the briny. Not picking up on a whole lot of oak. I just realized I didn't pick up on much oak on the nose or just now.
There's a lot of, once again, a lot of salted caramel.
Yeah.
Some vanilla.
Yeah, the caramel turned to salted caramel.
Is that maybe some...
And brininess right there it's on the finish.
Mm-hmm. Yep, on the
It's all over the finish.
I'm getting some kind of a sugary marshmallow kind of a sweetness.
Sugary marshmallow. Huh.
That is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not offensive. What was it? 96 proof.
96 proof. Yeah, not offensive.
Maybe it drinks like a 96 proof.
That'd make a great old fashioned, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Old fashions with rye are great. I had this bottle of Knob Creek rye that I just couldn't stop drinking neat and couldn't stop drinking old fashions with it. It was really good. I never did get around to getting everything I need for a Manhattan. which is pretty much what it's not the only thing you use rye whiskey for, or use in that cocktail. Silly me. What do you think of the bottle? I mean, we're going to get into the rating system here pretty soon.
No, I love the bottle. I think, as I've said with so many other ones, I'm a big fan of the consistency and extending a brand across the entire offering, and Jefferson Reserve does that well. I think with maybe the exception of some of their really higher end rare bottles, they all share the exact same bottle, the exact same type of layout. Some of the offerings that they've got, they'll have like a wax seal stamped on there. They make it's a Jefferson Reserve. I think it's called the Prickard offering. It's finished in a Cabernet cask. And so there's actually like a black wax seal that's stamped on there. But the bottle itself is the same. And I love the world map behind that. I mean,
it's really cool. And you hold that up to the...
You can see through it, yep.
Yep. It's almost like the... well, no. I thought maybe, holding it up to the light, the ship would be riding on top of the world, but it's not.
And it's subtle, but, the ship is kind of a light blue ink, which is different than the rest of the lettering. So, good stuff.
Colors and contrasts, and as long as everything works, good. Good, great. I dig the bottle. I have no complaints about this whiskey.
There's something that reminds me a little bit of the West Bottoms. Is that a maple cask?
The maple cask rye? Yeah.
There's something about, and this isn't finished in a maple cask, but there's definitely, I feel like there's a maple syrup kind of a note on the palate.
Yeah, not that air quote maple syrup you get from like Mrs. Butterworth's or Log Cabin or whatever, but real actual 100% maple syrup.
Have you ever visited Canada?
No, I'm not going to Canada. They're not even a real country.
Everywhere you stop in Canada, every gas station, every store.
That was a South Park reference. They're not even a real country anyway. I have nothing against Canadians. I have nothing against them. You just
right
fucking just fuck that.
Whatever.
Not touching it.
Canada and maple syrup. They're close.
Simpatico. They go hand in hand. Huh. I should have. I don't know. I feel like ever since we switched to the the new rating system where we
the new rating system that we've been using
for damn near a year. Yeah, we go either you can count it 1 to 5 or 0 to 5. Honestly, on these different categories: nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. We add all those together. What it is that we give it, and we divide that by 2, and we end up with our final score. So before, if I just had to throw like this arbitrary, just full on thing, I'd say, I mean, it smells great. It tastes great. The finish is wonderful. It's not exactly long and lingering, but it's not like it's sweet and it's present. It's very, to me, it feels like a really well balanced kind of a rye. Just no complaints. I mean, I would have easily just said 9, 9.25, something like that.
I think I probably would have the same.
And so here I am. I do my math here on our rating system, and it doesn't come anywhere close to 9. It's not even 8.5. I don't know what the hell.
So when you get that finish, remind me to come back to nose and the empty glass.
Okay.
Because I've got something. I want you to hear me out.
All right. I would like to go to Canada at some point.
It's cool.
I hear the people are super nice.
Very nice.
Like you said about the maple syrup, it's everywhere, and it's everybody's happy to have you try theirs or whatever. They have good whiskey and good strip clubs.
Okay. one of my favorite Canada stories does not involve strip clubs.
Okay.
But, so pre-Henry, Kate and I took Kate and I are big hockey, more specifically St. Louis Blues fans. And we've done a handful of trips where we have traveled to see the Blues play. And we took a trip to Buffalo to see them play the Sabres. And then after we were done, I think we spent a night there in Buffalo, and then rental car. We jumped the border right there, went up through Niagara Falls to Toronto. A friend of ours lives there in Toronto, so we got to visit with them or whatever. But we did that to see Niagara Falls. But the Hockey Hall of Fame is located in downtown Toronto, so it was a whole hockey trip. But
are there any Blues players in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah,
yeah. All right.
But part of the trip also was craft brewery visits. If I remember correctly, I think we did like 27 breweries in like 3 days. we were on a mission.
Didn't have anything else to do.
No, drink beer.
Drink beer and make Henry. You get it.
So we went to this one microbrewery, and I think they had like 10 or 12 taps of all of their beers. That was also where we tried poutine for the first time.
Okay.
Those who don't know what poutine is, it's essentially it's
fries.
French fries with gravy and a little bit of cheese.
Cheese curds.
Yep. Traditionally, it's a beef gravy.
Beef gravy.
They happen to have a vegan poutine, so we did that. It was pretty decent, but I don't quite get it. It wasn't.
It's just how they do it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It just,
right. I've had it. It's not bad. It's just different.
It's different.
I like gravy on my potatoes, and I like cheese.
This brewery, along with all of their own beers, they had one tap that was labeled guest tap. So, a lot of breweries will have a couple guest taps where they'll have either a national beer or they'll have a fellow local brewery guest tapping. Anyway, their guest tap was Bud Light.
Bud Light?
Well, we were in Canada, so
Bud Light?
Bud Light was the guest tap.
Is Bud Light not common up there?
Well, it's not from Canada.
Ugh.
So.
It is from St. Louis, though, right?
It is from St. Louis.
Bud Light's Anheuser-Busch, they're in St. Louis.
Yes, sir. But we just thought, I was like, really? We drive, we fly.
Right.
And then drive. How many thousands of miles in a foreign country, and the guest tap is Bud Light.
Bud Latte.
Yeah.
Which Jake Burge, if you remember him being like a Yinling and a Budweiser red label, full strength, whatever, I don't know what to call it. Regular Budweiser.
Red label.
Just such a huge fan of those things. Like we had that show with him not too long ago, and he's drinking Bud Light.
Yep.
Maybe that's because that's all they had at their bar.
After talking with Carl O, they had like 6 Miller Lights, and I think he drank all of them.
Yeah, he drank all of them and then some, because he had what he calls parking lot beers.
Right.
Yeah, so he's out there in the parking lots fucking knocking them down. That was a fun time. We got to make some new friends and new fans. Drummer for Guar showed up.
Yeah.
And
good time.
Jeff's wife Amber gave him a T-shirt and some CDs and different. We'll talk about that later.
What'd you get on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 375. How about you?
Okay, I gave it a even 4.
Even 4. I was gonna do that, but I thought you and we picked up on so much different stuff. It was conflicting. Like I said, caramel. You said. I
said marshmallow.
I thought you got that on the palate.
That was on the palate. Yep.
What was it that you got at maple? You got maple syrup on the nose.
Maple syrup on the nose.
And I mean on the dry. We'll get to it later. All right. You said 4 even.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I gave it on the palate. I gave it a 4 1/4. How about you?
I gave it 4.25.
4.25. See, we used to always not rate things the same. So maybe I'm starting to catch up as far as experience go in my whiskey enthusiast journey. Finish, I gave it a 4. How about you?
I gave it a 4.
Holy shit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that finish.
No, it's great.
It's not long, but it's not short. It's in the Goldilocks zone. It's nice. It's slightly briny. It's nice and sweet. You get a little bit of the taste of the rye in there as well. It's a non-offensive rye.
Yeah.
So it's a very.
I don't know if I would go as far as say it's a mellow rye because I don't think it is a mellow.
We've
rye.
had a mellow rye with the Junction 35 rye.
But I'm saying mellow as in it's not a sharp.
Yeah, it's not abrasive in any way.
Yeah.
How about bottle presentation?
I gave it 4.25.
Holy shit! So did I. So yeah, what I like about this bottle, actually, I don't have anything that I don't like about this bottle. So maybe I should have given it a 4.5 just based on that. But I actually argued over 1/4 point up here in my head. I had to have these conversations with myself. Like you pointed out, it's got the cool world map on the back. It's got the it's not a battleship. It's a ocean liner on the front.
Yep.
It's got all the information you want. It's got this little tag on the side. Got the neck label that actually looks cool. The way they put on there, what was it? Yeah, Voyage 26. It's got a cool topper. I like the neck here.
I feel like the cork stopper is a little bit longer than a lot of them.
Yeah,
That's
popping it back out of here. Yeah, we've had some that are like maybe a half-inch shorter. They're usually composite, but they're usually like 1/4 inch, half-inch shorter. And they don't make that squeak. Nothing squeaks like natural cork. And it's got the neck tag with all this cool information and stuff on there. I'm happy with it. The only thing I could be happier with it would be some kind of marine bag and or box that it could be presented in. Like, I don't know, Union Horse or Crown Royal or Blanton's, something like that. It doesn't need it.
I've never had enough on hand to matter, but with this being the flasks type of bottle, if you were hurting for space in your whiskey cabinet, you could turn it sideways and get 3 bottles in the same space.
You can tell what it is probably just by the neck label.
Yep.
If that pops loose, you could probably turn it or just write on the side of it with a marker. But yeah. It's a cool rounded flask style bottle. I like it. I got no complaints. So that brought my final score up to 8 1/8, 8.125.
Mine came out to 8 1/4.
8 1/4. So we're down to
Right there.
1/8 of a point difference. We used to be like a full point, 3/4 of a point, and then we were like half a point for 8 months. So now we're zeroing it. We'll see how long this carries on because we have so many more whiskeys, so many bourbons, so many scotches, a tequila or two to go through. So we've got, that's the 3rd damn time you said that word to me today.
What?
Indeed.
I don't know.
I don't either. It's just popped up. I was actually somewhat bothered by it. I went into into our conversations and I was like, I typed in Indeed. I'm like, how many times has he said this? Okay, and like 7 times total. It was 6 times I screwed up and put on Twitter. If you've seen it on Twitter, this is what I'm talking about. So I went in there and it popped up 6 times, and then the last time, the 7th time you sent it to me, it was in space deed, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? Am I getting fired?
No.
What's going on? I've crossed some damn line. I'm talking about microphones all day. He's busy, fucking catching squirrels. I'm getting fired. Am I getting fired? What's going on?
All right. Change the subject. All right. Close your eyes. Clear your mind.
There's a lot of stuff up there, man.
Are you a fan of Sugar Smacks?
No.
No?
No.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
I do know.
Okay. Picture something like Sugar Smacks. You pour the milk into there. You enjoy your bowl of cereal. That milk that's left over after you're done eating it. Now pick up your glass and get that nose.
With cinnamon.
I'm getting a dairy, milky, with lots of mapley, sugary. It's just so weird that all the different notes and stuff that come out of the glass after you're already done with it.
It's these,
and that's what I'm getting.
And it's coming from these damn Glencairn glasses. So like it's wild how the shape of a glass can change the nose and the palate, the entire experience that you have with whatever spirit it is that you're trying. If you don't have one of these, what are you doing with your life? If you call yourself a whiskey enthusiast and you don't have these, or something like it, I mean, do it. How much is the one in our shop?
There's a couple of them.
Go to savortheburn.com/shop and scroll down. You'll see like a set of 2 or a set of 4, whatever.
I think a set of 4 is like right at $20.
$20, yeah.
$24.
Yeah, because I swear the 2 pack,
maybe like 16 or so.
I thought it was like 10. Really,
maybe.
I mean, if you keep your eye on it, sometimes you catch it on sale, and that's what I did. I think I bought it a couple of times, and yeah, I did buy it a couple of times. One set for me, one for my son. Birthday, Christmas, whatever it was.
If you enjoy your whiskey neat, you have to have a Glencairn glass. Plain and simple.
If you like it in a rocks glass, it's not the same. And you throw an ice cube in there just to kind of whatever. It's not the same.
Yeah, I mean it's a completely different experience.
No shame, honestly, because I did that for
a
years,
long time. Yeah,
years and years. But these glasses bring out a totally different experience. And then when the damn thing's empty, when all it has left is the remnants of the spirit, it's like you pick up, like you said, on a little bit of cereal, caramel, and it's sweet cereal, like you said. Mapley, just caramely, salty.
Yeah, I'm getting like a Sugar Smacks or a honeycomb kind of a sugariness.
Yeah, I do love me some honeycomb. And I was eating so I don't know if we've ever talked about kettle corn before.
Oh yeah.
But every year at one of the the little town festivals or whatever, I'll go to.
Katie loves her kettle corn.
I'll make a beeline, like if Jennifer lets me, I'll make a beeline to the like an Amish kettle corn tent, and I'll get it every single time. Large bag. Eat probably half of it before we leave. Have to stop by and get another large bag, and then
take home.
And then just take home and fat down throughout the course of the week. But that first bag, it gets ruined quick, right? So I just I get 2, and she calls me a fat pig. She doesn't call me a fat pig, but she tells me I'm going to get sick, and I get woozy. But really, what does it matter? It's not for the podcast, but good times.
Good stuff.
So. You know what? We haven't talked about what anybody had to say in the group. So, were you keeping any tabs on the things being said?
A little bit. I was kind of peeking in from time to time.
I posted this in 3 groups. We got the Kansas City Whiskey Guild, Whiskey Tribe, and this new one that you added me into, Kansas City Bourbon and Whiskey Club. And I said, looking forward to a very rye kind of night. I'm trying, everything out here, whatever. A little inside baseball. And so Brian says about this Jefferson here, he says, every Jeffersons I've had has been fine. So I don't know if he's had it or if he thinks it's fine.
Yeah.
But thanks, Brian. And Michael says, I love that Jefferson's rye. It has a sweeter nose, which calmed the normal rye bite. So,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And Gianni says, agreed with a finger pointing to Michael's comment.
For a no age statement, that's a really good color. I mean, that's a dark amber. Easily.
And the other 2 groups didn't really have anything to say about it. They commented on some other things, but not so much this one. So maybe this just hasn't been on the radar. But I think if you're a rye, if you're a fan of rye whiskeys, I would say definitely check this out because it is mellower. Not so much a mellow rye like you said, but it is mellower. And it's sweet like a bourbon.
Well, and to that point, I think this would be a great if someone is wanting to or looking to explore and get into ryes, but are scared's not the right word, but cautious about jumping in with both feet.
Maybe a little intimidated.
This would be a great gateway rye.
Right. I would agree with that.
It's got a lot of characteristics of your typical bourbon.
Yeah.
But then it's got a little bit of rye that presents itself on the palate.
And then next thing you know, you're drinking Basil Hayden dark rye, double rye, whatever it was.
High West.
Yeah, High West double rye. Yeah, so it's Basil Hayden dark rye, I think, and High West double rye. You'll be drinking Bullet rye. Yeah, it's a dark spiral. You'll be going down. So yeah, if you're a fan of rye, check this one out. If you're thinking about wanting to try a rye whiskey, check it out. If you're not a fan of rye, and if you know somebody that has a bottle and you're curious and you want to give rye another shot, because why not? It's free. Hit them up and see if there's anything left in the bottle for you. And I really do think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's just that damn good.
Yeah. And
going by our scores here, I gave it an 8 1/4 or 8 1/8. You gave it an 8 1/4. That's probably one of the harshest critiques we've given such a good bottle.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else to add?
I like it.
He likes it. Well, thank you, dear supporter of the Savor the Burn podcast. If you have tried it and want us to know what you think about it, you can either leave a comment down here in the YouTube video or send us an email, info@savortheburn.com. You send me one, Jonathan, savortheburn.com, w2@savortheburn.com. We're here for you, man. We just want to hear what you got to say, and maybe even we'll bring it up in a future episode. Probably not, but whatevs. So whatever. So thank you for tuning in. We had a blast, and definitely not going to forget this one.
Yeah,
this one was really good. So I guess that said, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget.
Keep on burning.